It's Trump's politicization of the virus that has resulted in this new surge of cases in this country, while other developed nations have been able to shrink the number of cases among their people, some of them down to almost zero, but not here. It's because of this orange ape that we now have reported 3.5 million cases. Remember how long ago it was? How long ago was it when he said, oh, we have 13 cases, it'll soon disappear? 3.5 million cases, 135,000 deaths. But instead of focusing on that, as any decent human being in a leadership position, such as the presidency of the United States, in command of unlimited resources, with the so-called bully pulpit, access to every human being on earth, really, but certainly in the United States, instead of this ape using that pulpit, centering on the sick, the dying, and the dead as the true victims of not just this viral attack, but of his idiocy and his malfeasance. No. Trump is casting himself as the victim of circumstances. I remember telling you this last week. The Washington Post reported that Trump has adopted this, oh, poor me attitude with visitors, with people that go see him. This is how the Washington Post put it last week, quote, Trump often launches into a monologue, placing himself at the center of the nation's turmoil. He's cast himself in the starring role of the blameless victim of a deadly pandemic or a stalled economy, of deep-seated racial unrest, all of which happened to him rather than the country. End quote, Washington Post. Now, how are we supposed to, Charles Blow asked this question, how are we supposed to comprehend this idea? That the president is avoiding that responsibility for political purposes and in the process putting untold American lives in danger and actually causing some to die. How are we supposed to believe this? Get our minds around this. How did it come to pass that scientists and experts could be hamstrung, that governors and mayors could be bullied, that millions of Americans could risk their own well-being and the well-being of others to make a political point about a goddamn mask? But here's the truth. Truth seekers, this is the country, this is the America that every one of us, you, me, all of us, is now navigating. This is where we are. I look at some of the pictures over July 4th weekend or even last weekend of people by the thousands partying on boats, coagulated in some harbor on a lake in Michigan or Illinois. I look at these pictures of hundreds, if not thousands of people on beaches, nobody wearing masks, nobody practicing social distancing, the crowded nightclubs, the crowds going into malls and stores, and I think, what the fuck is going on here? Is this collective madness? Is this the final breakdown between rational thought and total insanity? Man. Blow writes, We've witnessed scene after scene of minimum wage workers in conflict with customers who refuse to wear masks inside the stores where these minimum wage workers are having to go. They have to go there to work. And some of those people, and Blow points this out too, and I know this to be true, some of the people, I've seen them. I see them occasionally at Target or at my bank or at Costco, places where I have to go. And I see a certain number of people who seem to be dramatizing their goddamn defiance. You're not going to tell me what to do. Mask? Get out of town. I don't need a mask. And they use the environment where other people are trying to navigate, these freaks who won't wear a mask. They use that as the stage where they perform their little drama of defiance. My God. A couple of times I've had an instance where I've got to do something. I got to run to Sprouts, or I've got to go here, or I've got to go there, and I have to do it. I have to go pick something up. I have to go to the drugstore, whatever it is. And I pull into the parking lot, and I jump out of the car, and I'm halfway through the door, and I think, stop. You don't have your mask on. So what do? All I'm going to do is go inside and get a bottle of shampoo. No. You stop, Mr. Mike, and you turn around. I go back to the car. Get the mask. Put it on. And part of that is to protect myself. Another part of it is to protect other people with whom I might come into contact. And another part of it is I don't want to demonstrate to whomever I might see inside this store, other customers, the pharmacists, the clerks, that I am such a dumb son of a bitch, a defiant, Trump-supporting asshole that I am not going to wear a mask. No. So I go back to the car and get it and put it on. Blow writes that part of the issue is that the virus is not only being politicized, its effects are being racialized. Black and brown people are having worse outcomes. Some of the states now seeing the greatest surges in cases are those in the South and the West with large black or Hispanic populations. How is that happening? Is it because black and Hispanic people in this country? Not all. But on an average, on a population average, these are the people who get the least amount of decent health care, weight monitoring, blood pressure, diabetes, so on and so forth. Consequently, they're more susceptible. I don't know. But the numbers are skewed against people of color. And the effects of the disease are also ageist, to use a term. People in my demographic, my age group, are more likely to die from this. Florida not only has this large Hispanic population, also has a large population of retirees. And look at the death toll in Florida. So, is it possible that these variances add to the political callousness that we're seeing? If the disease is seen as disproportionately hurting others, kills the boomers, or a black person, or an abuela killer, in the Hispanic community, then some younger, healthier white person might believe that the threat to the white person is lower and the restrictions on them should be looser. Blow closes by saying, we have a situation in this country where disease is spiraling out of control, largely because of the president himself and there is little sign or hope that it will be constrained soon. We are living in a horror film, one starring Donald Trump. God. Hi, Truth Seekers. Mike Malloy here. As you know, we've switched formats and are now broadcast exclusively on the Progressive Voices Network. So that means you get fewer program interruptions, no corporate commercials, and lots of profanity. But our format change also means some of our radio listeners no longer hear the program. It's been a while since I mentioned our podcasts, so you may have forgotten that there is a way to listen to this program anytime you need a good dose of screaming. Visit MikeMalloy.com and subscribe to our podcasts. You have your choice. You can listen to the ranting with the audio podcast or listen and watch me lose control with a video podcast subscription. As a podcast subscriber, you can download the program to your mobile device and take me with you wherever you go. And if you have a friend who needs a dose of truth-seeking, you can give a gift subscription as well. That's MikeMalloy.com. And never miss a minute of the uncensored fun and frivolity.